The Joe Rogan Experience.
I don't know if I would be so confident as to be able to say that there's a linear progression from caveman to us. I don't think that's true.
No. Hardly anything in the natural world is linear.
Which just scares me if we fuck it all up right now and you have a nuclear war and there's only like 50,000 people left. Like, how long before we get to this position where we're trying to almost get past this again?
Yeah. It's like it's rough adolescence.
Yeah.
And so it's true. How long do you need to take? Do you need 100,000 years of a high technology society? Maybe. Well,
Right.
where are we? Well, like 20 years, 50 years
Yeah.
into it, and we're having a problem.
Well, that's where things get really weird when people start talking about UAPs and these whatever these beings are, if they are real. Like, are they us? Are they us from the future that is coming back to make sure that we don't fuck it up and to sort of hold our hand through this experiment and just watch and observe on the outside in case things go horribly wrong, but allow all these mistakes to take place and allow this progression to take place and just wait it out?
I'm a fan of Hal Puthoff's ultra-terrestrial idea, that these are not from the future, they're from the past. They just happen to be way more advanced than we thought.
The past?
Yeah.
Like how far in the past?
1 million years, more, 100,000, something like that. It's because you think about convergent evolution. So when I was at UNLV, one of the places nearby was a ornithology laboratory, so birds. So I went to the museum and I said, "Oh, these are very nice penguins here." And the director said, "Those aren't penguins." Well, what is that? It looks exactly like a penguin. No, those are auks. So there's different birds from the North Pole and the South Pole because of convergent evolution were shaped to be like this bird. And so, I mean, they looked absolutely identical to me because I don't know that much about penguins anyway. But I said, "It looks like a penguin. It's not a penguin. It
They
is not."
evolved independently in the North and
Yes.
South. Wow.
And so, why is it that the aliens that we
That's not a penguin? Whoa.
probably an auk?
That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we had one of those and had a penguin next to each other in the museum, and I thought, well, what is that?
Wow.
So a lot of these aliens that people talk about are basically like humans.
Auks can fly and swim, and they're smaller.
Yeah.
Wow. But they're so similar. Even the color.
Yeah, the color, the shape.
The color is crazy. Like, what is the benefit of the whole thing is very odd.
So why do we have so-called Nordic aliens that look a lot like people in Scandinavia?
Right.
But you think either come from a planet that is almost exactly Earth-like, which is possible, I guess, or they've already been here. They've been here a long, long time. And the same for many of the other aliens that people talk about. They're humanoid.
Right.
Well, humanoid is shaped for evolution to be in a certain place. Because we're so well shaped by evolution that we can go outside on an average place, and even though there's only a couple of miles of atmosphere, we're perfectly fine.
Are you aware of those examples of very bizarre heads that they found, skulls they found in places like Peru that don't have the sagittal suture, that have a brain capacity that's 30% larger than ours? There's some weird skeletons.
Yeah, so Gary Nolan talked about this, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's real examples of it. These aren't theoretical. Like, you can find these skulls that have a larger brain capacity. And, they've attributed to a real practice of flattening heads,
Right.
of shaping skulls. That's a real practice. But the question has become, did that real practice emerge to mimic a type of creature that already existed?
Yep.
Because these skulls, see if you can find one of them, Jamie. They're very weird looking. Like, they're very weird. They're big. They're bigger than a normal human skull. They have more brain capacity, and it's an elongated shape. It's a different shape. This is not like a science fiction theory. This is not like an artist's rendition. This is an actual real skull that doesn't have the sagittal suture. No, that's the alien things. That's those Monsterot. That's that thing that a lot of people think is a fraud.
That's the skulls they were talking about, no?
Yeah. But there's actually elongated skulls that they found. Just don't pull in tridactyl mummy. Just put in elongated skull, no sagittal suture. There you go. Like that. That one right there. Like, what the fuck is that? That does not look like a person. That is a real skull.
Yeah, so some of that is shaping,
Sure.
right?
Some of it. Some of these are, but the ones without the sagittal suture are really weird.
Yeah,
Because that's a thing that all human babies have, because as your brain grows and your head grows, your brain, your skull is kind of malleable.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have it. And some of these that they found actually have more brain capacity. So the shaping of it wouldn't change the brain capacity. So some of them do have that sagittal crest, that sagittal suture. Some of them don't. And that one that you showed up there, I hope that's not AI. That one doesn't. I think that's real.
Could just be hard to see.
Could be. Could be, but it's been described by people who have examined them as being different. There's also the positioning of where it connects with the spine is different. Oh, Sarah, that goes right there. Where the spinal column enters the bottom of the skull is very much further back than normal. A genetic adaptation or a different kind of person.
yeah.
A different kind of person that coexisted. Like, look at that one right there, Jamie, that you have your cursor on. Click on that. That's crazy. Like, that is really crazy.
That's a replica.
Yeah.
Wild looking.
But
That's a replica. So what's the real one? The real one is the one that you showed that has Instagram on it. That's a real one. That is kind of bananas.
Yeah.
And if that's not done through forming of the skull and pushing the skull into the new shape, what is it? And were they doing that because they were trying to mimic something that was superior to them? And that's where it gets weird. Like that, those real elongated skulls, Inca Museum up there, right above your cursor. Yeah, to the left, right there. That's crazy looking, man. That's really crazy looking. And again, that one doesn't seem to have that sagittal suture. Neither does that one down there that says 118. They're fucking strange. So if that was an actual different kind of human being that existed along with us, God, that explains a lot.
well, they're not here anymore.
Right.
And unless they're ultra-terrestrials and are living in the bottom of the ocean.
Right. I don't know about that, but if that's them, who knows? I mean, you could get to a point where a civilization becomes so advanced that the biological entities aren't necessary anymore, and then that would explain why they could exist at the bottom of the ocean, why they could exist with no oxygen, why they no longer become dependent upon their environment to survive.
They might have creative environments.
Right.
It's like the movie. There was a movie. I forget the name now.
What was the premise?
It was that there's a ship and there's like a missing submarine, and so they dive down to it, but then they see lights coming up.
Oh, The Abyss?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah. Well, there's always been stories about. I mean, Tim Burchett, the congressman, came on this podcast and was talking about how there's 5 different locations in the deep ocean that they're aware of activity, that things have happened there. They continue to happen. But if you were going to study Earth, if you had to be like local, like where would you go? I mean, if you can come here from another dimension, another galaxy, or wherever you're coming from, you'd probably go in the ocean. You'd have they've observed these transmedium crafts that are able to fly and go into the water. Isn't that auk thing? Isn't that kind of transmedium? It flies, it swims.
Yeah. It could be an alien. It's an alien form of a penguin.
But it just, at a certain point in time, you would imagine if we could get far more advanced than we are now, and we found out about a society that is at a stage where we are currently, for sure we would go visit. For sure we would observe. And we would also probably try to stop nuclear war.
It is an interesting question because the prime directive in Star Trek is you don't mess with them.
Right.
Right? But they always do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So-
Star Trek they didn't even have the internet. They had walkie-talkies. Kirk out. Remember?
No,
He
well,
to close that thing?
they had the communicator thing. So
Oh,
we
you're
don't know.
talking about the next generation.
Yeah, we don't know how that worked. but
Yeah, I'm talking about the original.
Yeah, no, the original is pretty good though.
Really good.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about it, was like the 60s when
Yeah.
it came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of my personal mission was to make Star Trek real. that's like it's
Including beaming people up.
no, it's like the Vulcan, the most rational creature on there was the one who could do the mind meld.
Yes.
That's why I was thinking,
Yeah.
okay, an advanced species, this stuff is taken for granted.
Right.
That's where my vision is seeing. Yeah, and so that advanced species may be us, might need a little evolutionary push with genetics, but yeah, we could do that too.
So in this concept of the ultra-terrestrial, that these things have come from the past, like how are they here?
They've always been here.
They've always been here.
Yeah.
So they just exist, but they exist in a different way.
Well, so imagine, even given current technology, if there was another ice age coming, and we may have 1,000 years to prepare. Would we be smart enough to do that? I don't know. Could we do it? Yes, we
Yeah.
probably could.
Boy.
Yeah, and then so another 1,000 years passes, and you're below ground somewhere, and then there are the cavemen who are beginning. Well, do we interact with them or not? Well, it's an interesting question. Like we don't want to get involved in all that mess because we
Sort
don't,
of like how we don't visit North Sentinel Island.
maybe.
You know, like
Yeah.
those people that live the
Yeah.
uncontacted tribe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
You're literally not allowed to go there.
let them develop the way they shall develop. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I can accept that.
Well, there's if it turns out that there is some activity, that there are some things that we can't explain that are happening from deep in the ocean, we're going to have to come up with some sort of an explanation. If that is an actual intelligent species, or an intelligent life form, something, whatever it is, there's got to be some explanation for that. So the ultra-terrestrial one is just as good.
Yeah, there's
a
an
visitor.
explanation for everything. The question is, A, are we smart enough to figure it out? And B, how long will it take? And both of those are complete unknowns. But that's yet another reason why I like the kind of work that I do, that you need to have very high tolerance for ambiguity, of which I do. Like I'm okay with not knowing a lot of basically everything. I know enough to be able to be dangerous, but otherwise I don't mind that I don't know.